Okay, today we're going to talk about handiness of a rifle. And the reason that I want to get into this is I'm finding that this is a really nebulous term. Not a lot of people can really define what it means. As a matter of fact, I asked a scout rifle group on Facebook to define handiness. And most people on there said, well, handiness means it's lightweight, it's short, and it's ergonomic. I said, well, no, that's not a definition of handiness. That's how you get something to be handy. It's characteristics of a handy rifle. But what's the point? What are you trying to accomplish? And the reason that this is important is until we understand what it is we're trying to accomplish, then all of these things we're doing to our guns in terms of getting them lighter and shorter and all of that, we're not really defining what it is we're pursuing. So let's define handiness. I started looking and realized that no one really has done it, so I came up with my own definition, and you're free to argue with it, but hear me out. So to me, what handiness means in a rifle is that it is quick and efficient. Those are two different things, we'll get to them. Quick and efficient to carry, deploy, and utilize. Does that make sense? We need to be able to carry it, we need to deploy it, we need to be able to utilize it. So let's talk about what that means in terms of handiness. So this is a scout rifle. This is a very handy gun. This thing just wants to jump to your shoulder. And so I started trying to think, well, what is it about it? Why is that important? So let's talk about carrying, because you could have a 5-pound rifle that is 30 inches long, that is designed around your body, but if it's sitting at home in a safe, it's not handy. You have to be able to carry the thing. I did a video a few years ago about carrying this thing in the field, and I pointed out that you could loop into it and carry it on your hip like this. Well, that's true, that's good for stalking. But if you're going to be hiking with it, most people are going to carry it either over their shoulder this way or over their shoulder this way. But either way requires that you grab the gun. Is that quick and efficient? Well, it's fairly quick. Not sure it's entirely efficient because there's a lot of body movement there. So if you're having to move a lot, well, that is going to attract the attention of whatever you're shooting at. Whether this is a tactical or a hunting situation, you don't want a lot of movement. So I'm not sure that the slings that we're using really qualify as handy in terms of carrying it. All right, what about deploying it? How quickly can you get this thing up and rolling? Pretty quickly, especially if you're carrying African style. One move and you have deployed that gun. It's in a great position. So deploying, that's the second thing. Getting it from the carry position into a shooting position. Fantastic. What about utilization? Utilization means how well can you get that thing to get a bullet downrange where you want it to go. That's where ergonomics comes in. That's where the shape of the stock, how it meets your face, how your eye lines behind the scope, how easy the bolt is to manipulate, how easy the safety is to manipulate. All of those things need to be both quick and efficient in order to be called handy. Okay, so that's cool and everything, but it brings up the question. Now we know that short, light, and ergonomic make something handy, but does anything else make it handy? Are there things that you can do to make a rifle handy other than shortening it, lightening it, and making it more ergonomic? Well, there is. And we have the tactical community to thank for this. So several years ago, but after the time of Jeff Cooper, during the global war on terror, our soldiers were really trying to figure out how to make their rifles more efficient and quicker. They needed to carry them and deploy them and utilize them. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, they started playing around with 2-point slings, and not that 2-point slings hadn't existed before, but it was in the early 2000s that they really started concentrating on this. And eventually they came up with the Vickers sling. This is a Vickers sling. This is on a SIG cross rifle, which is not an M16 or an AR-15, but it's got roughly the same shape. This is a rifle that, in its basic form, if you were to put a lightweight LPVO scope, leave off the suppressor, it's pretty light and handy. I would call it a handy rifle, but by the time you start adding things to it to improve its versatility and improve its usefulness, you get away from the handiness of it. But what if we put a Vickers sling on it? Well, let's take a look at that. So now I can carry this rifle. Even though it's a little heavy, the weight is now distributed pretty nicely. It's on my shoulder and part of my body. My chest is carrying part of it. My hips are carrying part of it. My legs are supporting everything there. So I can carry it pretty quickly and efficiently. What about deploying it? Well, how's that? That is an incredible efficiency of movement, because all you have done is raise the gun. And when you're carrying it like this, you'll notice that the butt of the rifle is right at the pocket of your shoulder. That's right where it belongs when you bring the rifle up. So that's pretty quick and efficient. What about utilization? Well, when you get this thing up, I know I've been very critical of the hasty sling, but a hasty sling in this case is a little different because the sling is going around behind my back. Since it's going around behind my back, when I tighten that sling up by moving my arm down, that is pulling the gun back towards me. That's pulling it into my body. That's giving some stability. Now, is it as stable as a Ching sling? No, it isn't. It's a whole lot more stable than just hanging out there by itself. So it is an improvement, and so it does help in the utilization of the rifle. So a sling, the right way, makes it quicker and more efficient to carry, deploy, and utilize the rifle. That's pretty cool. So this is something that I'm exploring. Future videos, I'm going to go into not just the Vickers. I've got, I think, 4 or 5 different slings now on different types of rifles, including on some scout rifles. So I'm going to be doing some follow-up videos talking about how to use them, how to carry them, and different ways of making the most of this style of crossbody carry sling. And again, this isn't to say that a SIG Cross or a 10-pound rifle is going to be as handy as a scout rifle. It isn't. It's not a scout rifle. However, doing it right, you're going to be able to achieve a level of handiness that really is going to rival a scout. So that's where I'm going with this. And if you're interested in it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.